New Year is just 12 days old, and the White House is in serious damage control mode. The challenges go far beyond the president's reported crude remark yesterday. There's also the charges in Michael Wolff's tell-all book, Fire and Fury. The confusion over his view of DACA and a federal surveillance program, and the upcoming retirements of Republicans in Congress. CBS News political contributor Bob Schieffer has covered 9 presidents over his career. Bob, good morning.
Good morning to you.
It's great to see you here.
They can't get along with just one Face the Nation act?
No, we can't.
Yeah.
No, we can't.
There is just one ex-Face the Nation host, and I'm glad to ask him a question. Bob, let's start with these comments about immigration. Take it away.
Well, it did not remind me of George Washington or any of his other predecessors. I can't imagine. I mean, look, we all know these words. I mean, anybody that's been in a control room at a television studio when something goes wrong, you learn a lot of new words. And so this is nothing. But to say this in the White House during a discussion,
The Oval Office, yeah.
this is a new low. And I think he ought to be ashamed of himself. Now, do I understand he's now saying he didn't say it? Is there a new tweet this morning?
That's what he's saying. Of course, there are multiple people who were in the meeting who said, and the White House didn't deny it.
Yes,
they tried to
did
turn
not.
it into some kind of a view about his toughness on immigration. They didn't deny he said it.
But, Bob, what about the fact that he called them expletive hole countries when he was referring to countries that have a predominantly black population?
And said, why couldn't we get people here from Norway, which is 99% white?
And all who report they're very happy in Norway.
Which is what
I mean, there was
They're
a
happy.
story
They don't
the other day
Yes,
about
over
how happy
90%
they
white,
are
they're very happy.
in Norway. So this is,
Is it racist?
yeah. I mean, how can you take it any other way? And I say, when I say that, I don't say that lightly.
Right.
But I mean, how else could one read this?
And you know what, Bob? This should not be a bipartisan issue. The fact that it was so hurtful and so unkind and just so demeaning to so many people, are you surprised that more Republicans aren't really speaking up and just really condemning those words?
I am in some ways, but I mean, you know, that's their business. I have my opinions and they have theirs, but I don't see how this helps them or anyone else. And I don't know where this goes. I mean, this was the most unusual campaign we've ever experienced, certainly in my lifetime. This year, with the coming of the Wolff book, the chaos rolls on.
Did you learn anything in that book that you didn't know, or what are your thoughts about that book?
You know, I think he really nailed the chaos in the White House. And I think he was right on. Now, you know, you can question some of his sources and methods and all of that, but people always have asked me over the years, what's your favorite beat? The White House, I guess. And I say, yeah, that was fun. But, you know, everybody in the White House, they all work for the same guy. It's on Capitol Hill where you really find news, because there are all these factions and there are all these different independent contractors, and that's what's fun for a reporter. But that's really not apt anymore. And as the Wolff book underlined, there are as many factions in the White House now as there are up on Capitol Hill, and we've never had anything like that before. And I thought he really gave you a guide. I mean, you had the Spicer and the Priebus wing over here. It's kind of speaking for establishment Republicans. You have Bannon, who's this whole new force unto himself over here. You have the Kushner family. They had their own spokesman. They had their own agenda. And then you had the boys, the Trump boys over here. And all of these people, I mean, and there's no question about it. They're all leaking. They're all have their own agendas. We've never had anything like that.
I wonder if I can get kind of your historical perspective, too, on questioning the fitness of the president, the mental fitness of the president.
You know, I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm not a doctor, and I don't know what it is, but I do say, I keep wondering, why does he say these things? Why does he step on his own story when you're in the middle of the tax reform and all of that, and he has a little good news and he manages to get something else, some of this stuff involved in it? I don't know why he does what he does.
And these most recent comments come into context. Remember, he started his campaign saying Mexicans are rapists. So this is not the first time he said this. What do you think the effect will be for Republicans running in 2018 of the president?
You know, I think the story, the most underreported story right now, and the reason we haven't reported on it is simply because you have all these disasters that we're going through with the climate. At the same time, this continuing, ongoing chaos in the White House. I'm beginning to think, and for the first time, that there is a chance. I think the Democrats may actually take the House this time. You've had 29 Republicans now that have decided they're not going to run. They only need 24 seats, the Democrats, to take the House. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I think it's now possible. I wouldn't say it's probable, but I think it's possible. And I think that's the big story we haven't had time to talk about.
Well, and we're out of time now, Bob. We'll have you back to talk about it. Bob Schieffer, thanks.